is ridiculous, you know. Okay, so speaking of franchises making the news, wait until you hear what the New Yorker had to say about Chick-fil-A opening up stores in New York City. Their headline reads, Chick-fil-A's creepy infiltration of New York City. Do you have Chick-fil-A's in California?
Not in Central Valley that I can recall. And I can see why.
It's probably hard to get across that border. New York has taken to, this is from the article itself, New York has taken to Chick-fil-A. One of the Manhattan locations estimates that it sells a sandwich every 6 seconds, and the company has announced plans to open as many as a dozen more storefronts in the city. And yet the brand's arrival here feels like an infiltration, in no small part because of its pervasive Christian traditionalism. Its headquarters in Atlanta are adorned with Bible verses and the statue of Jesus washing a disciple's feet. Its stores close on Sundays. Its CEO, Dan Cathy, has been accused of bigotry for using the company's charitable wing to fund anti-gay causes. No, that's not true. First of all, it's not true. They fund pro-family causes. And it's, again, misconstrued into playing around with the words as anti-gay.
It sounds a lot like Hobby Lobby, in 2012 or something?
First of all, Hobby Lobby and Chick-fil-A are always under attack.
Yeah.
Always under attack.
We have a lot of Hobby Lobbies out in California.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure the one in my city is actually shutting down because they're tired of the bureaucrats.
Yep. No, I'm not surprised. Including groups that oppose same-sex gay marriage. And we're inviting God's judgment on our nation, he once said. When we shake our fist at him and say, we know better than you as to what constitutes a marriage. The company has since reaffirmed its intention to treat every person with honor, dignity, and respect. But it has quietly continued to donate to anti-LGBT groups. This is taking things so out of context. It's unbelievable to me. Okay, so first of all, it says its intention to treat every person with honor, dignity, and respect. Yes, and that has never changed. They have, if you can, I challenge you. I challenge people out there. If you can find me a story where a person of the LGBT community went into a Chick-fil-A and ordered food and was turned away because of it, because of their lifestyle, right? Find it for me, and I will eat my shoe. I will eat my shoe, okay? They have always shown honor, dignity, and respect to everybody, okay? It says, but it has quietly continued to donate to anti-LGBT groups. Wrong again. They are pro-family groups, which are seen by the LGBT community as anti-LGBT because it promotes traditional family values, which they see as being offensive to them, okay? So it's a twisting of the words. It's taking the exact same circumstance and twisting it to fit an agenda. And in case you can't see here, this program, this podcast, the truth is more important than agenda. So it says, when a location opened in Queens Mall in 2016, Mayor Bill de Blasio proposed a boycott. That's all these liberals do. They always boycott everything, you know?
They want to block up the highways and boycott and protest and get violent.
I call those speed bumps. So no such controversy greeted the opening of this newest outpost. Chick-fil-A's success here is a marketing coup. Its expansion raises questions about what we expect from our fast food and to what extent a corporation can join a community. Outside, you can glimpse an earlier iteration of that skyline on the building's facade, which, with two tall, imperious rectangles jutting out, gives a subtle impression of the Twin Towers. This emphasis on community, especially in the misguided nod to 9/11, suggests an ulterior motive. Oh, these horrible people are celebrating the Twin Towers that used to be there. What jerks. The restaurant's corporate purpose, it still begins with the words, to glorify God. I feel I can sense liberal nerves popping, brain aneurysms going, you know? And that proselytism trums below the surface of the Fulton Street restaurant, which has the ersatz homespun ambience of a mega church. David Farmer, Chick-fil-A's vice president of restaurant experience, told BuzzFeed that he strives for a, quote, pit crew efficiency, but where you feel like you just got hugged in the process. That contradiction, industrial but claustral, is at the heart of the new restaurant and of Chick-fil-A's entire brand. So have you ever been to a Chick-fil-A?
Not yet, no.
Oh, man.
Have not.
I introduced Bobby to a Lehigh Valley favorite in Yakko's, which my wife hates, so it was nice just to be able to take someone there, which is hot dogs, right? Maybe before you leave, you need to go back to move your family back out here, which don't let people know in California when you're doing that, going back or coming out, because you're part of that exodus that they say isn't happening, by the way. Right. You need to try Chick-fil-A. We have a couple here, so it's like the best chicken.
I haven't had
it's
it, but I want to
fantastic chicken, okay? So my point being, it's talking about like a pit crew efficiency with the embrace of a hug feeling, right? If you get the opportunity to go to a Chick-fil-A, you get the Christian feeling, which is the exact opposite of what they say this is. You feel welcomed, you feel appreciated, and you feel like you're being taken care of, no matter what, right? And it's a warm experience.
The way that they should, because
yes.
One, if it wasn't for them being to hand out that service to people, then how are they going to make their money? They have to be nice.
Yeah.
You can't just go out and hate everybody all the time. You're never going to make it anywhere.
Yeah.
You won't become a national known restaurant.
Or you end up dividing your
Starbucks,
clients and everything.
Be known because you hate everybody.
Racist Starbucks. It's worth asking why Americans fell in love with an ad in which one farm animal begs us to kill another in its place. Most restaurants take pains to distance themselves from the brutalities of the slaughterhouse. Chick-fil-A invites us to go along with the cow's schadenfreude. In the portraits of the Fulton Street restaurant, the cows visit various New York landmarks. They're in Central Park, where Eat More Chicken has been mowed into the lawn. They're glimpsing the Manhattan Bridge from Dumbo, where they've modified a stop sign, Stop Eatin' Burgers. And they're on a subway where the advertisements, you get the picture. The joke is that the cows are out of place in New York. A winking acknowledgement that Chick-fil-A, too, does not quite belong here. No. No, it's part of their marketing. You're reading too much into it, or even worse and more likely is you are fabricating a story to go against the restaurant just because you are anti-Christian, right? Defenders of Chick-fil-A point out that the company donates thousands of pounds of food to New York Common Pantry and that its expansion creates jobs. Yes.
That's not against the left agenda.
Yeah.
No jobs.
The more fatalistic will add that hypocrisy is baked or fried into every consumer experience. That unbridled corporate power makes it impossible to bring your wallet in line with your morals. Still, there's something especially distasteful about Chick-fil-A, which has sought to portray itself as better than other fast food. Yes, it is. Cleaner, gentler, and more ethical, with its poultry slightly healthier than the mystery meat of burgers. Its politics, its decor, and its commercial evangelical messaging are infected with this suburban piety. A representative of the Richards Group once told Adweek, people root for the low-status character and the cows are low status. They're the underdog. That may have been true in 1995 when Chick-fil-A was a lowly mall brand struggling to find its footing against the burger juggernauts. Today, the cow's guerrilla insurgency is more of a carpet bombing.
Well, at least they clawed themselves up to the top the way that
they're number 3.
Capitalists would do it.
They're number 3 in fast food restaurants now.
Yeah. And
okay.
Myself, McDonald's, that.
Yeah. Oh, you need to have Chick-fil-A before you head down to Maryland, right?
I think they have them down in Maryland. I've seen them.
Yeah, they do.
But I haven't seen them in California.
Yeah. By the way, this isn't the first article I've ever read like this. Anytime a Chick-fil-A is opening up in a highly liberal area, you are going to find articles like this written about the franchise and the Christian value base behind it and where it comes from, the CEO of the company or the president of the company, and the background of the family and who they donate to. This is clearly... Actually, the last time I did a story on this, it was from a food reviewer on do you know one of the big food review sites?
No, I just know man versus food.
No. This one is an actual website where they review restaurants and everything. And
Mystery shopper or something.
yeah, kinda. And instead of reviewing the actual taste of the food and quality of it, they went on a whole rant about the Christian values and everything else. There's quite clearly an agenda here to attack Christian values, which I find really frustrating because they attack Republicans and Christians all the time for saying anything true about radical Islam, right? And you can't say that. You can't say that. And we have them specifically talking about the LGBT community, but you don't ever hear them saying anything about in the Middle East where they're throwing gay people off of the side of buildings, right, to their death, or stoning them to death. You can't say anything about those people, but Christians are, as I've said before, an easy target because we don't fight back, because we have morals and values against getting too heatedly involved, right? So they take advantage of us.
It's easier to turn the other cheek than to argue with them.
No, I would actually say it's the opposite. It's a lot easier to argue with them than to turn the cheek, because when you're attacked, I think it's hard to turn that cheek and say, okay, I got to let this go, right? But I think that there's a responsibility on the part of the Christian community to come to the defense of these types of things, because we just keep on getting thrown under the bus and we keep on taking it, and there's a deterioration of of God in communities, right?
Oh yeah, it's bad.
Oh yeah.
Can't even talk about him in school anymore.
Well, he was taken out of school a couple decades ago, and what's been going on with schools, right?
Yeah, they're deteriorating bad.
Absolutely deteriorating.
I can't teach my kids how to do math. It's pretty bad.
Well, the fact of the matter is, we keep on looking at these school shootings and everything. Everybody keeps on trying to come up with reasons, and the left keeps on saying that it's all about the guns. The guns are doing it. Like they're magically walking in there and our tools, in the meantime, while guns are banned in England, the knife rates for killings skyrocket past New York City's homicide rate,
and
right?
Over people with cars too, that skyrockets too.
But when you take God out of schools, that's when we started seeing a lot of problems start to unfold in the schools and everything, and education rates go down. But not only that, like I've said before, I know this is a controversial thing to say, but in regards to school shootings and everything, you never see a school shooting at a Christian school.
Yeah.
Why is that? Because morals and values and an emphasis on the value of life are instilled into those kids in those schools.
Yeah, and bullying is not encouraged like it is in regular public schools, and it is encouraged. I highly believe that. I actually talked to a superintendent about the bullying problem at my child's school, and he said he was going to do something about it and call me back. It's been 2 weeks, still haven't heard from him.
Yeah.
So it's just ridiculous. You can't stop a bully. You have a zero tolerance policy to stop all these shootings, or at least try to curb it a little bit, and nobody wants to do it. They want to praise the people who are bullying the kids.
Well, they're the victims.
Yeah.
Right. The bullies become the victims because, and I think one of my favorite recent movies was Wonder. I don't know if you've seen that. What I found interesting about that is the kid has some physical appearance problems because of birth defects and everything, and he gets bullied a lot, or not even. He does get bullied, but he has a hard time making friends, right? And the bullies of the movie, they go into their backstories and they show that they have a rough life too, right? Which is true. Everybody has their own story on why they are the way that they are and everything. But at the same time, sometimes you need to teach some kids a lesson. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And when the parents can't teach that lesson, that's what the churches will do. They'll help with teaching those type of lessons. Schools definitely aren't going to do it.
No, they're not. They want to take on responsibilities for everything, except for when you actually get the most important values in life. Then, that's not my responsibility. That's left on the parents. Yeah.